Hello, guys. Hello, hello, hello. How are you? It's LaShanda Henry here, aka Sister Sense. I am jumping on once again to share some fire, and focus. This particular web class today is all about 10 things you need to get rid of so that you can move forward in your life and in your business. You know, I've been having lots of conversations around things that you can do to get back on track, number one, and then, of course, number two, how to smart start your vision, whether you are looking for fresh and new opportunities or new ways to do some of the things that you do online. I want to make sure that I can share with you my strategy and intention recommendations. So in the process of me having this conversation with you, the Back on Track series, I came across this beautiful list online that actually is inspired by this man right here, Stephen Covey, the creator of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I've got the physical one, and I've got like the virtual one from on my Kindle. And somebody put together this beautiful infographic, and I kind of want to walk through that with you today. Hi, hey Monique, hi Roslyn. I got your email last night, Roslyn, and I'm going to check in today. I just been powering through all of these live streams, so I haven't forgotten about you, boo. I'll check in with you today. Okay. Of course, if you're watching me live, feel free to check in and say hey. Drop into the comment box. Replays rocks if you're watching me on the replays side. So love the 7 habits of highly effective people as far as productivity and time management, and you thinking about what you need to do to just kind of structure your life and actually go from wanting to doing things to actually getting things done. By the way, I know that in the process of me sharing, I've been talking about different tools that I use, and books are definitely resources and tools. So make sure that you can go to sistersense.com/BOTG, which stands for Back on Track Guide. To get that Back on Track Guide PDF, click the link that says the Top Tools Collection, and there you'll be able to learn more about my collection of brilliant book recommendations, the 7 Habits of Highly Successful People being one of them, this one right here. So I'm sharing this with you because somebody, in the spirit of, talking about this particular author, wrote this kind of like summary list that they shared in tribute to Stephen Covey. This is the infographic that they shared on 10 things you must give up to move forward. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it before, but I absolutely love it. And I feel like this is a good mindset shift conversation for us to have today for those of you who want to start off smart and or get back on track. So the first one here is, well, actually, you know what? Let me do this. I'm going to just run through these recommendations really quick, and then I'm going to dig into each of these in more detail. So, 10 things you must give up to move forward. Number 1, letting the opinions of others control your life. Number 2, the shame of past failures. Number 3, being indecisive about what you want. Number 4, procrastinating on the goals that matter to you. Number 5, choosing to do nothing. Whew, that's a big one. Number 6, your need to be right. If you're in a relationship, like myself, you got a partner, you know that sometimes you have to give up your need to be right so that the relationship wins. That's another conversation for another day, but you know what I'm talking about. Number 7, running from problems that should be fixed. Number 8, making excuses rather than decisions. Number 9, overlooking the positive points in your life. And number 10, not appreciating the present moment. Those are 10 things that you really need to think about, reflect on. If you are actually doing any of these things, you need to think about how you can give them up so that you can move forward, right? So let's dig into this conversation today. And of course, as I do this, feel free to drop into the comment box and let me know, let yourself know, let the universe know, this is something that I'm going to give up because I really want to move forward, okay? So again, the first of these is letting letting the opinions of others control your life? How many of you do that when you're in a space where there are things that you want to do, but you don't do them because you're worried about what other people will think, or you're worried about what other people will say? It's funny, I was watching a live stream of a young lady yesterday, and she said, I'm 33 and I've come to the realization that I don't know how to dress myself. And I was like, Lord, I know how that feels. And I remember for a long time, especially when I started working in the technical field and I was interning at IBM and I really didn't know what to wear, I deferred to my mom, and she was, having me buy these suits that looked really frumpy on me. And, you got to have your hair a certain way. And it was just not me, and even being in a space where, being in the corporate arena wasn't me. And one of my aunts would say, if nothing else, let the money get you up in the morning. And I'm like, I want to be comfortable. I want to do what I want to do. I don't want to be a cubicle chick. I don't want to be a corporate girl. And being in a space where you let go of the opinions of other people, even in the things that I've done. A lot of things that I've done, I'm going to be honest with you, some people didn't necessarily think it was the smart thing to do, whether it's when I left my rent-controlled apartment in New York, or when I decided to go natural, when I decided to be like, screw it, I'm not going to, get a corporate job, I'm going to work for a non-for-profit. All of the decisions that I made were really dependent upon what I thought was the best decision for me versus what somebody else had in mind for me, or they were looking at me and going, well, you shouldn't leave this apartment, or you shouldn't do this thing, based on limitations that they set for themselves. You always, always, always have to be the leader, the master and commander of your ship. And if you feel like in one way, shape, or form, there are people in your life that are dictating what you need to do, who you need to be, or you feel like your perception of what people are thinking of you is preventing you from moving forward and being your true self or being your authentic self, that's something you need to check, right? And it's not an easy process to get through it, but you have to get through it. One of the things that I transitioned with were, I used to do so many different things to my hair. I cut it short. I had braids. I had, wigs and extension, all this stuff. And I remember one holiday going to my mom, I hate doing this family Christmas thing because somebody's always going to say something about my hair and it just pisses me off. This is before I've gotten here, because I've had my hair in locks for almost 12 years now. But prior to that, when I was, S curl today, Jerry curl tomorrow, girl, if they did it, I done did it, Anybody ever had the Jerry curls? I had that too, boo. What was it? The Janet Jackson braids, all of them, right? From Poetic Justice. I say that to say this. I remember one holiday saying to my mom, I don't even want to go in there because somebody in the family is going to say something about my hair. Why are you studying what other people think? Nobody's studying your hair. And literally the first thing that somebody does when I walk through the door is say something about my hair, which was a real pet peeve for me. And as a sister girl, that is something that can trigger you. And I had to get to a space where I was like, regardless of what other people think, I'm going to do what I want to do. And checking my mom and even letting her know I don't like when people talk about my hair, or I don't like the way that you think or somebody else thinks I should do my hair. Getting that off my chest and just out into the air, that started the process of me learning how to be who I needed to be. It's funny. I watched a video of Raven Simone. I cringe as I say it because, Raven is not everybody's cup of tea. But I watched a video, I think on YouTube, of her, and she talked about it getting better. It's like a series on things that you can do to get better in your life. And in this series, she talked about coming out. And she talked about the fact that when she was younger and she was a little girl, she was like, she loved the Cosby Show. And she looked at her parents one day and she said, I could do what Rudy could do. And they packed up their bags and they moved to New York and they did all of these things. And she auditioned and she got on the Cosby Show. From 3 to 30. She was in the public eye. She was in media. So there were all of these people telling her who she should be and what she should be and how she should do things. By the way, Raven is gay. She's a lesbian. And she talked about knowing that she was gay as early as somewhere between 9 to 12 years old, but being in a space where she was intentionally being with boys, or, people would say, you got to have your hair like this and do that. Remember, she was on the Cosby Show, and then she was, doing That's So Raven. She was on Disney. She was on tour with NSYNC. She had music. She had movies, all of this stuff. And people saying, well, you can't look that way, or you can't say this is you because that's not good for your image, right? And, it's funny because she talked about, how do you manage doing school? She's like, I dare you to manage being in school, being a child, going on the red carpet, and then having somebody to say, you can't talk back because you ain't grown yet, right? Being in that space and having to be in a place where at the same time you're an actor, you're an actress, you're confident, you're in the spotlight, but then you have to check yourself and be a kid when you're around your parents. It's very, very challenging. So she realized that when she got to a space where she could say, this is who I'm in love with. I am gay. I don't have a man beside me. I have my woman beside me. That was a whole other space for her, but that allowed her to be who she wanted to be. And whether or not you agree with homosexuality, that's a whole other story. I'm not even touching that today. I just say that to say, being in a space where you stop letting other people control who you are and what you do, to the point where you're like, listen, I'm not doing it for the limelight. I'm not doing it for media. I'm not doing it for business. I'm not doing it for my parents. I'm not doing it to look a certain way to fit into my job. I'm not doing it to, what do they say, code switch, right? When you sister girl here, or you pseudo Oreo here, you know what that means when they say you a Oreo. It is what it is. Code switching, trying to switch up constantly to fit into somebody else's box is exhausting. And you want to move forward, you got to get rid of all of the things that are weighing you down. So that's number one. If you are in a space where you are letting other people's opinions dictate who you are and who you need to be, you definitely have to let go of those opinions of others controlling your life. It says here, it's not what others think, it's what you think about yourself that counts. That's what counts the most. Number 2, the shame of the past, letting go of shame. Shame and blame live in the same house, right? It says your past does not equal your future. All that matters is what you do right now. One of the things that I love about being an entrepreneur is control and power. Feeling like you are powerful. A lot of people, they feel powerless. They feel their life has been made out for them and they have to just do the day-to-day, and there's nothing they can do to rise above that. And it's funny because I said to you that yesterday I went to go and see the Black Klansman with my hubby, and there are these the cinematography is so interesting. There are these scenes when, you've got the Black Power, Black activists, and they're saying Black Power, Black Power. And then there are these same, like, juxtapose this. There's the white supremacists, the Ku Klux Klan, and they're saying white power, white power. And you got Black Power, white power, Black Power, white power, your power. Your power is in you understanding that you control and define who you are. Nobody else does. So, the white people, they're thinking they need to do what they need to claim their white power, and the Black people thinking they need to do what they need to do to reclaim their Black power. Again, it's a very interesting dynamic in the Black Klansman. If you haven't seen it, go see it. But when I think about it as an entrepreneur, I claim the word power because it allows me to control who I am and where I want to be in my life. I wanted to be in a space where I didn't have to work with somebody else. I wanted to be in a space where I knew that I didn't have to be limited by, okay, well, this is where you grew up. This is where you lived. That's what you're going to do for the rest of your life. Creating something different, creating what I like to call new normals, for me, was about me realizing that my past was not going to dictate my future. So if you're in a space where you are letting your past failures or challenges deter you from moving forward, that's something you got to check. One of the things I talk about is the Stop Procrastinating Challenge. And one of the things I touch on is Shame on Me, Sheila. When you're in a space where you literally are letting shame of things that you've done in the past or things that have happened to you in the past prevent you from moving forward. Hey, Levon, welcome, my dear. Hi, Shanda, welcome. Again, feel free to share what we're talking about today. 10 things you need to let go of so that you can move forward. Number 1. Number 2, drop into the comment box, #replaysrock. So as I'm going through these again, is anyone here struggling with number 1, letting the opinions of others control your life? Or number 2, the shame of past failures, internally whispering to you and telling you, don't even try that. Don't even go there. It didn't work before. Why would it even work again? Don't think that your past is a definition or a restriction on what you can do. It's never too late. You're never too old. Doesn't matter how many times you make a mistake. There's always an opportunity for you to progress towards your success. I remember my hubby, I said hummy. I remember one day my hubby, who right now they're such a distraction. Him and my son are messing with the BB guns in the hallway, and I can hear them and laughing and running around and screaming. It totally distraction, but I'm saying it in my peace and in my presence with y'all right now. But I remember one day my hubby shared with me an older, I think she was an Asian lady who, after maybe like a ridiculous number of tries, 30, 50, 100, I don't know, she tried to get her driving license and she just kept failing and failing and failing. She just took it a record number of times. I honestly think she took it like 100 times, and eventually she passed. I said, bless God. If that is not a testament to what you need to do to move forward in your life, because there are people who take it one time and they don't pass and they're like, forget it. Listen, I think I took it 3 times. I took it here in New York and I failed. And then I took it in Florida and I failed. And then I went back to New York and I passed. And then I finally had my license. I didn't drive. I didn't use my license for well over a decade. And then I moved to North Carolina and went to driving school. And I was like, listen, I don't know what I'm doing, but I have my license and I haven't driven it. Freaked out, went to driving school, got my New York license, transferred over to my North Carolina license, and went back to school so I could build my comfort level. And it was such a blessing. To me, I have to be honest with you. At the end of the day, you've got to be consistent about powering through to get what you want. I know what it's like to fail. And I know sometimes people come on and they're like, oh my God, you're my entrepreneurial crush and you're so awesome. You do all these great things. A part of it, honestly, is you don't know the struggle and the disappointment that I go through on a daily basis. I just power through. I'm resilient. I'm an eternal optimist and I show up. Now, sometimes I don't show up because honestly, I'm like, oh, I don't want to. But my consistency is me tapping myself on the shoulder and said, cut that out. Cut that out. I know maybe this thing didn't work out the way you wanted to before, but get off your ass and go and do something. Because you sitting here is not an option. You don't have that 9 to 5 anymore. You don't have that bottom neck cushion anymore. You got to make sure that you're consistent in what you need to do. Something has to light the fire up underneath you to realize that, yes, maybe things didn't quite work out before, but don't let your failure dictate you trying and trying and trying and trying and trying again so you can move forward. That is number 2. And hopefully that resonates with some of you who maybe are going through something similar to that right now. Number 3, being indecisive about what you want. Let it go, boo. You gotta let it go. You will never leave where you are until you decide where you would rather be. Make a decision to figure out what you want and then pursue it passionately. I love that. I've been telling you guys, stick to the plan. Stop being indecisive. Oh, I don't know if I should start this. I don't know if I should do that. Do something. Right? Do something that's going to work for you and that's going to help you move forward. Do something. You know, literally, I said, you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to do some live streams. I'm going to upload those to YouTube. I'm going to send out an email. I've been eating throughout the day, hanging out with the hubby and the son, and they come in here trying to drive me crazy. Like, leave me alone. I'm doing my live streams. I'm going to knock out my live streams. Listen, if I do 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them, I upload them and I have them work for me in the background while I do something else. At the end of the day, you have to go from being indecisive to working directly on different things that are going to help you move forward. Something. And if you find yourself going down a rabbit hole and, oh, I could do this and I can do this and I can, do this. Do the first thing that was on the doggone list. Just do that. The first thing that was on the doggone list of all the things that you wanted to do that. I said, I think maybe it was a day or 2 ago, I did a live stream and I was talking about productivity. And I said, you know what? Make a list of things you said I was supposed to ... Then do those things. Stick to the plan. Focus on what you're supposed to be building right now. Stick to the plan. Number 4, procrastinating on the goals that matter to you. Oh my goodness, procrastination. There are 2 primary choices in life. You can either accept conditions as they exist, or accept the responsibility of changing them. I love this because as an entrepreneur, we are in our nature solution based. As an entrepreneur, you're supposed to be promoting to people how you're going to help them solve their problems, right? So if you're going to do that for other people, the first thing you need to do is do that for yourself. Be in a space where you get decisive and you make decisions and you be direct and you work through the plan. And then number 2, be in a space where you control what you want to see in your life by stopping this procrastination bug. I literally created the Stop Procrastinating Challenge because I wanted to help you do just that. As a side note, you can find the Stop Procrastinating Challenge at sistasense.com/SP, which stands for Stop Procrastinating. So is that something that you struggle with right now? Where you get excited and then you procrastinate and you put things off and you do all this other stuff? For me, even if I take a day or two or maybe a week or two and I put something off, then I get that fire and I just start knocking things out. I literally start springing into action. Because yeah, we're human and sometimes you are going to procrastinate and sometimes you are going to put things off. But if you find that's your MO 24/7 and the majority of the time you're finding an excuse, oh, I'm too tired. Oh, I'm too broke. Oh, I can't. You can find a way or find an excuse, but you can't do both. So I need you to acknowledge today if procrastination is an issue for you. What are you going to do to find a way to do what you need to do? Choosing to do nothing. That is a choice. Inaction is a choice, right? You don't get to choose how you are going to die or when. You can only decide how you're going to live. Every day is a new chance to choose. Every day, I want you to think about for yourself where you feel powerless, where you feel out of control, where you feel that your life is kind of dictating you versus you dictating it. And realize that in order for you to be in control, you have to make a choice. And when you choose to do nothing, that is a choice. Choosing to do nothing is a choice. There's somebody I'm thinking about right now when I talk about, okay, well, you can try this or you can try that. I'm very solution based. She tends to say to me, I can't think about that now. That's frustrating me. I can't think about that. I'm just going to relax and I'll talk to you later. I can't. She gets really frazzled. You ever have anybody in your life where you try to talk to them and help them, give them a solution and just not even the solution, doing it, but the process of talking about it or confronting it. Oh, I don't want to think about it. Choosing to do nothing, that's a choice. And for a lot of people, it's to the detriment of your progress. It's kind of like that statement, same thing, different day, right? Nothing's going to change if you choose to do nothing. Number 6, you need to be right. The need to be right. Woo, Lord. And, if you got that stubborn gene, sometimes I'm right. I know I'm right. Right? Aim for success, but never give up your right to be wrong. Because when you do, you will also lose your ability to learn new things and move forward in your life. I love this. Your need to be right. It's kind of like that person who goes, I need help. Oh, but I need you to help me the way I need to be helped. If you need help, you don't know how you need help. The person who I need you to help me this way. Well, if you know what to do, what the hell you need me for? You don't always have to be right. I love education. This is such an awesome list because, again, it's in tribute to Stephen Covey. Covey. I don't know how to pronounce it. The guy who created the 7 Habits of Highly Successful People. I love that concept of, this is created by someone by the name of Mark. I don't know. It's just this beautiful infographic that I came across and felt compelled to share with you guys. The ring light glow up is awesome, but of course, the side note is it's hard for me to show you this. But being in a space where you check where you're stubborn, where you check where, especially as an entrepreneur, there are things that you want to do, but you keep doing it your way, right? And one of the things, it's funny because I'm going to be working on the next Back to Business virtual conference. And the last one of my sessions anyway, was on what are you missing? And where are you saying no? And if you're in a space where somebody says, well, do this or do that, and you're like, no, or not even maybe verbally saying no, but check yourself, mentally saying no. Oh yeah, I know I need to do video, but no. Oh no, I know I need to talk more about my products, but no, I don't want to bother people. Eventually, if I keep putting out my stuff the way I'm doing it, eventually somebody's gonna buy. Yeah. I know I need to go to events, but I can't afford it. Maybe next year. No. Right? You feel that in saying no, sometimes you're literally saying, I get that I'm not doing it the way I want. I get that I'm not getting the results that I want, but my way is the right way for right now, and there's no other way to it. That's you being stubborn about being right. You don't necessarily have to always fight people down and say, my point is the right point, and you must agree with me. Sometimes it's you subconsciously telling yourself, or even verbally telling other people, no, because whatever they're suggesting doesn't fit into your box of the things that are comfortable for you. One of my favorite quotes is, your next level begins where your comfort level ends. And in order for you to truly embrace that, you have to embrace failure. You have to embrace being ignorant. You have to embrace being a newbie, being the fresh person on the block. Some people don't want to be that person. They don't want to think that way. And because of that, they only want to be in a space where they stay comfortable and do the things that they know are comfortable to them. So giving up your need to always be right, for me, a part of that is, giving up your need to always do things the way you're used to doing them. It's important. We've got to jumpstart our routines and change things if we want to change things. Make sense? So, number 7, running from problems that should be fixed. Running from problems that should be fixed. I think I was about to say fixed. But stop running. Face these issues, fix the problem, communicate, appreciate, forgive, and love the people in your life who deserve it. Running from problems that should be fixed. This is a big one, right? Stop running. It's hard when there are things in your life that are overwhelming, right? It's like, Lord, oh my gosh, I got these bills I need to take care of. Lord, oh my gosh, I got this new online business I need to start. Oh Lord, oh my gosh, I got these kids in school and I got to pay. I think my hubby was telling me about somebody who has, I think maybe 4 kids, like 2 go to the community college and 2 go to the university. And I was like, oh my God, thank God I only have 1, right? Like, oh my God, I got to pay for all of these college bills. Woo! I get that. I truly do. But at the end of the day, we can't run from our problems. We have to face them. And I think that that's one of the biggest things about #adulting, being in a space where you embrace, in order for your life to change or for things to get better, you have to be the one to fix them. And there are things that we can do to cope. I was watching a live stream of a young lady and she was like, I go to Target and I buy these oils because I love the way they smell, and this one makes me relax and this one makes me feel good. Or you thinking about, for myself, when I do my errands on Sundays, that's the day I like to go to one of my favorite spots, which is Noodles and Company. My hubby, he's like, I don't like Noodles and Company, too much carbs, not healthy, not good. But they do have zoodles, which I love, which is, the zucchini noodles, which is not pasta. I mean, they got a couple of dishes. But, you ever find yourself not doing things because the people that you hang out with the most, they don't like to do those things. And so for the interest of everyone, you try to be neutral. You try to find something that can fit everybody. Well, guess what? There's some days where I just want to do something I need to do for me, right? I just want to, do what I need to do for me. And so for me, that was kind of like a solution to a little problem of self-sacrifice, being in a space where there are things that I wanted to do, but I was sacrificing those things for the greater good of everybody else. So, I mean, these things happen in the form of little things and big things. But the point is, in order for you to move forward, get rid of running away. Okay? Like for me, there are things that are hard online, but I have to chip away at those things and keep doing what I need to do to fix the problems, find solutions. And as I find solutions, as you know, I share them with you. That's one of the things that I do, right? And so I need you to identify if there's anything that's happening in your life that you're running away from, that you've got to confront. You got to confront and figure out how you're going to find a solution. Okay? So number 8, making excuses rather decisions. One of my favorite Sister Sense sayings is you can find an excuse or you can find a way, but you can't do both. Okay? You can find a way or you can find an excuse, but you can't do both. You need to consider the following. Most long-term failures are the outcome of people who make excuses instead of decisions. So when you find that something is just for years and months and years and months and just progressively getting worse and worse, it's because as opposed to figuring out how to fix it, you're making excuses about it, right? So I always talk about little practical things that I've done in my life because I'm not perfect. Even when I wanted to, get into a space where I started writing more, and I was like, okay, well, I don't have time to write books. I can't write books. I don't have time. I don't have the money for a publisher. I don't have the money for an editor. Even though I couldn't find the time to do that, I was making excuses. I checked myself and I was like, okay, well, what else can you do? So when I could, instead of doing written content, I would do audio. Instead of doing big books, I would do 20-page booklets, or I would do my magazine. So instead of writing chapters, I was writing articles, finding ways versus finding excuses, because at least doing something is better than doing nothing and expecting things to change, waiting for a miracle. Right? You can find a way or you can find an excuse, but you can't do both. So number 8, if you're making excuses rather than decisions, you've got to change that. Number 9, overlooking the positive points in your life. Life is yin and yang, right? There's black and white. There's balance. What you see often depends entirely on what you're looking for. If you can look for the good, you'll find the good. If you look for the bad, you're going to find the bad. You will have a hard time ever being happy if you aren't thankful for good things in your life right now. So if you find yourself fixating on the grass being greener for somebody else, it's not going to be good for you. I remember when I used to live in my little apartment here when we first moved to Greenville. We didn't have a car. My son was really, really small, and his stroller was what we called the Escalade, because it was I think it was an Eddie Bauer stroller. And my hubby, he called it the Escalade because, that was what he would drive in, the little baby. And then everything that we bought, we would stack on the sides. I appreciate those days. I appreciate, when all we had was the little 19-inch and we would huddle around it and watch, Comedy Central or Lifetime or whatever we were watching that day, or Nickelodeon. And I even, just kind of appreciate those times when literally, because I don't even think I had a high chair for my kid. I have videos of him in the stroller in the living room because that was his high chair. It was everything, right? And he would be watching Disney or he would be watching, Nickelodeon, and just being in those moments, I appreciate them. And I look back at the small things in complete awe and appreciation. You've got to take a moment to, outside of everything that may not be going right in your life, find something positive about what's happening right now, because everything is about perspective. Yeah, maybe that thing is due. Maybe this thing is in a deficit. Maybe, even to the best of your effort, that thing isn't working yet. Don't claim that it will never work. Don't claim that you will always be in a deficit. Don't claim the negative. Look towards the positive and embrace that. For me, sometimes if you can't muster up the energy to embrace it, take a damn break. One of my favorite statements is break before you are broken. So if you need to just, take a nap, do something, go out, get some fresh air, do something. Yesterday, I have so much work to do. You do not know. And yesterday, my hubby called me and was like, okay, well, what you doing? What do you want to eat? Movie, what's going on? And so we did like a mini afternoon date. At first, I said to him, no, not happening. I've got too much work to do. Check me later. And then I said, you know what? Think about it. He's been buzzing in your ear like 15 times. I want to go see the Black Klansman. I want to go see it. And, the kid's at school. Let's go while he's in school. So you say no now, but then when are you going to have the time to say yes? When are you going to do it? You work at home. So a part of that is you have the luxury to go outside whenever the hell you want to go outside. So go outside, enjoy time, be positive. And then when you do come back home, the work is going to be waiting for you. So just do it then, right? Print them in. What are you biting, baby? Oh, you're biting one of my pens. You see this right, her? This is what happens when you hear the dog in the corner chewing on something. You can't see what she's chewing on. And you know she doggone chewing on something. You know she chewing on something. You praying she chewing on a bone. You know you don't got no doggone chicken bones in your office. But you praying she chewing on something right. And this, my friends, is what happens. Mind you, this is my pen. It's one of my favorite pens. It's the green pen. Green is money. The purple pen, the green pen, these are my favorites. Okay, it's all right. It's okay. I'm going to find the positive in this. I'm going to probably cut that off. I got doggy drool all up on my fingertips. What you doing, girl? You know you a hot mess, right? I'm just saying. Come on, say hi. Oh, Lord. It is hot up in her prinament. But the positive is... I don't know. There's some positive to sweating. Isn't there a positive to sweating? I don't know. I feel like there should be. Number 9, overlooking the positive points in your life. And then last but not least, number 10, not appreciating the present moment. Too often we try to accomplish something big without realizing that the greatest part of life is made up of the little things. So I think that for me, number 9 and number 10 kind of play into each other, as I talked about kind of appreciating the little things that I had in my life in the past and what I have in my life right now. On a live stream that I did a few days ago, one day I just kind of walked out, because usually I take print out maybe about 3 or 4 times a day. About 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, in the noon time, and then 4 o'clock, and then I take her out later. Usually it's about 9, but I took her out maybe 10 o'clock one day, and it was just beautiful. The moon was bright, the stars were out, and I love to walk in the cul-de-sac that time of night because it's just quiet, and you can hear the frog, and the cat is out there, and the dog is it's just nice. So just being in a place where I just embrace that little piece of calm. There may be little things that are chaotic or challenging in life, but you just have to make the most of it, right? So that is me wrapping up this conversation that I want to share with you today. And as I recap these 10 things, please feel free to drop into the comment box and share if any of these things are things that you are going to let go of so that you can move forward. Again, letting the opinions of others go, number 1. Number 2, let go the shame of past failures. Number 3, let go of being indecisive about what you want. Number 4, let go of procrastinating on the goals that matter to you. Number 5, let go of choosing to do nothing. Number 6, let go of your need to be right. Number 7, running from problems that should be fixed. Number 8, let go of making excuses rather than decisions. Number 9, let go of overcoming the positive points, let go of overlooking the positive points. And number 10, let go of not appreciating the little moments, the present moment that you're in. So powerful. I want to make sure that I remind you all that this is about, for me, 2 things. Smart things that you can do to get back on track, and of course, smart things that you can do to start really moving forward. If you are in a space that you're looking for that support, make sure that number 1, you download your Back on Track free PDF guide at sistasense.com/BOTG. You'll find all of the beautiful replays that I've been sharing with you on how to get back on track, catch up, and create amazing as part of that series. Of course, all the resources that I've been talking to you about there, you will find them there, including that link to the Top Tools collection so that you can see some of the physical tools that I use in my business. Plus, there's a link to brilliant books and healthy productivity tools. Some of them are great books like, Eat That Frog, which is awesome. And then, of course, the 7 Habits of Highly Successful People, the 5-second rule. I mean, there are a ton of them in there. So make sure that you browse through some of my favorite brilliant books when it comes to productivity and time management. The link link to the Brilliant books is inside of the Top Tools collection page. So when you download your Back on Track PDF guide, I'm tongue-tied, y'all. Forgive me. I've been doing a lot of these today. When you download your Back on Track guide, number one, and number two, you click on the Top Tools collection, you'll find all of those resources there. And of course, that Smart Start bundle, that's going to help you move forward, because in addition to acknowledging the 10 places, or rather the 10 things that you need to get rid of so you can move forward, what we've got to do is bring in solutions. And for me, there are, personally speaking, I believe there are 4 A's that you need to integrate, especially for entrepreneurs, into your business so that you can smart start your way to success. Those 4 A's are as follows. You need answers, action, acquisition, and ascension. Now, when you go to the Smart Start bundle, when you go to sistersense.com/SSBB, if you've not already seen it, go there to listen in and tune into my conversation around those 4 A's. You need, again, answers, you need action, acquisition, and ascension. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do another web class just on those 4 things so I can dig in deeper into that particular conversation. But I want to make sure that as we talk about things you need to remove, we can replace those things with the right things to move you forward. So, alrighty guys, one more web class to share with you for today. Tune in. That one's coming up in a few minutes. But until then, thank you so much for joining me on this one. Take care. Mwah. Bye.